Jimpa is out, new film from Mason-Hyde, whose previous movie, Good Luck to You, Leo Grande, I quite enjoyed. This stars Olivia Colman, John Lithgow, and odd Mason-Hyde, who is the director's real-life non-binary child. The story is apparently largely autobiographical. Olivia Colman plays Hannah, a middle-aged filmmaker who is gearing up her new movie aimed at telling the story of her own life and her parents. As that is happening, together with her non binary child Frances and her husband, she visits her aging father Jimpa, played by John Lithgow, in Amsterdam. Jimpa is an openly gay man who left his family years before but remained friendly with them. He's spent his life on queer communities activism and is a massive inspiration and idol to Frances. But the stay also becomes a catalyst for self-reflection on the nature of all these complicated family relationships. So I quite enjoyed this. I think it struck an unexpected balance between very openly approaching certain subjects, the gay experience, the AIDS crisis, gender identity for Frances, and how various people react to that. But at the same time, how reserved it felt when actually trying to penetrate the depths of these themes, which has been leveled at the film as a criticism that it doesn't, solve these issues for itself. But I'd argue that is the point of the movie. Here are three people who theoretically live their lives as openly as possible, yet between each other they struggle with honesty and openness. Frances is conflicted about her gender identity, about being at a formative age. They mention how it might be easier for their mom to defend them than for themselves. Hannah is the most conflict averse person ever. She attempts to de escalate every beginning of a potential argument, even at the cost of bottling up all of her own feelings. And finally, Jimpa is exuberant and extroverted, constantly walks around buck naked, sleeps with probably hundreds of men, but is unable to truly talk and connect with his daughter about their mutual feelings. I like the performances. I also thought the cinematography was solid and makes great use of flashbacks, not as full sequences, but rather short visual glimpses of the characters' past, intercut with dialogue from the present day scenes. It helps shed light on how they lived and what they experienced and how that, casts a shadow on the present day, particularly for the older characters who lived through the AIDS crisis. Now, obviously, I don't know whether the movie is accurate in portraying all of this stuff because I'm not part of these communities, but seeing as it is partly autobiographical and involves, people from that world, I'm willing to believe it is fairly accurate. So I liked it. I thought it was quite interesting.